Oh, good. There's a big truck outside right when I start the video. Um, I was getting started writing a blog today about window treatments and how to figure out exactly how much they should cost and what to expect. And I thought I'd tell you and actually kind of look. My computer is down here, so if you're wondering what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is a little bit of the research that I did and how I come up with the totals that I do, aside from experience. So window treatments are something that I'm actually fairly new to, and I've started doing for my clients because there's simply just been a sudden increase in demand for window treatments. Excuse me. In the past, I've stuck almost exclusively to construction type projects, kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel, full house gut and renovation, things like that. So bit by bit, I've had more and more interest in things that I haven't done as much. So one of those is window treatments. I've done a few for clients. Most of them have been shades, not really much in the way of drapery, though I've got a workroom. I have the capability. I have a great support system because I don't know as much about it as many designers do. And the way that I get around that as a designer is that I have that support system. I can go to my workroom and say, hey, you know, we're looking at this window. These are the features that we want. This is the look that I'm going for. What's the best way to achieve that? And they can help me with this. They can look at the fabrics. They can let me know if the fabrics are realistic or not. But one of the things that I do when I'm trying to get an idea for references to give to my clients. So a homeowner calls me and says, I'd like to do window treatments. I'm not really sure what kind of budget to set for it. Well, I can't tell you that. Because it varies so extremely. You know, if you're going to do budget blinds versus doing a complete custom drapery system, and what type of drapes are you doing? Are you doing 3 layers of fabric? Are you doing motorized? Are you doing, you know, there's just so many features that can be added, black outlining and so much more that I didn't even know about. So one of the things that I do is I like to give people a good, obviously I talk to them and I get the information, I talk to my showroom and I can help them with the budget, but I also like to be able to write a blog post and tell people good references. So one of the things I do is I look up cost of custom window treatments, and almost every time, and this is something that I don't recommend that any homeowner do not Google how much it'll cost to do something. The reason that I do it is because I'm actually looking for the bad references too. I want to be able to tell you, you know, right away when I do a search, the first thing that comes up, and this happens on every cost search, it's always HomeAdvisor. And let me tell you about HomeAdvisor. And they can just get so mad at me for this one, but it's always wrong. It's always wrong. I mean, unless you're doing IKEA shades or, you know, going to Home Depot for your cabinets or something like that, the costs that they have for 2018 window treatment installation costs says they start at $150 to $200 per window, with options that add $1,000 or more to the final cost. Installation is generally between $80 and $250. I can tell you right away, so very off. I mean, this is supposed to be custom window treatments. Custom window treatments are very pricey, and I'm not gonna lie about that. This isn't something that you just call up a designer and say, yeah, I'd like some custom window treatments. It's gonna cost me about $150 per window, no big deal. Try $800 on the low end, maybe $400 if you're doing shades and smaller windows with no special features. So really, as I started to put together this blog, I was like, you know, it's going to be easier for me to explain it and just tell you in a video. So here I am. So HomeAdvisor, #1, don't even try to go there for your cost information. don't even actually try to Google things for cost information. If you must look for cost information on the internet, I highly recommend looking at local designers and looking through their blog posts. You know, my own blog post has several. I'm working on putting together several white papers. For those who don't know what a white paper is, it's just a, you know, free download with information. So I'm working on putting together several of those with different types of budgets, you know, budgeting for bathroom remodel, kitchen remodel, window treatments. Another one that is actually fairly reasonable, let me see, well, even, you know, Somfy Systems. Somfy is they're the company that makes most of the motors for motorized window treatments. This site says typically drapes and curtains cost an average of $100 to $250 per panel. Again, I still can't agree with that. Just in the experience that I've had so far, maybe that's the cost for the labor, or maybe that's the cost for the fabric. It's definitely not the cost for the labor, the fabric, and anything that is delivered and installed. So you're gonna quadruple that number. Let's see, another one that I have found to actually be a fairly good reference is HomeWise, and that's home, and then Wise is WYSE.com. And when I do a search for custom drapery on that one, you can put in your zip code, which is kind of handy. It actually looks at regional information, which is very, very relevant. I get a lot of clients that'll move here from Texas or, you know, across the country, and they move up here and they say, okay, well, I'd like this because I know it's inexpensive, and I give them a quote and they say, well, that's not how much it costs in Texas. Well, not in Texas. We're in the Seattle area. The coast is more expensive. So window treatments, anytime you're going with a designer on a project, move that slider up, because when you get to HomeWise, you're gonna see a slider. Move the slider all the way up to the top, because frankly, a designer is not gonna give you anything less than top quality. That's why you're working with a designer instead of going to Ethan Allen or going to Bed Bath & Beyond. Is that the right store, Bed Bath & Beyond? I do a lot of retail shopping, can you tell? So scoot that all the way up to the top to superior grade, and scoot the labor type all the way up to the top. Now, what comes up is it's gonna break it down. It's gonna show you material, labor, supplies, tools, and total. It immediately says 1 unit. Obviously, it's gonna depend. It looks like they do have a chart, and they're showing the height of the window and the width of the window being 48 inches. Material cost, low is $404.77. High is $497.54. Yeah, that's reasonable. Labor, between $100 and $350. Supplies and tools between $25 and $40. I mean, you're talking about your brackets and things like that. But not even the brackets, actually. Let me correct myself. We're talking about the screws and like the little things. The material also encompasses things like the rod, and the rod can be pricey. I mean, we've got rods that are, you know, the lowest price is probably $150, $200 for a large rod. And this is just because I've been working on a large window, so that's my experience right now. And labor type, you want to move that slider all the way up to sourced by builder or designer. So it's really important to have that information. HomeWise is fairly accurate, not always, and it's hard to read because as a homeowner you may not necessarily know what to consider in different areas, because they do have everything you could imagine. How to price out tile, how to price out toilet installation. So that's a really good way to do it. I always recommend just start at the top and be pleasantly surprised when it comes in lower, but please budget for the highest, because we hate to give you a surprise that's higher than what you're expecting. It's a tough thing to do. And you know, that way, honestly, if you've budgeted for the highest possible number and it comes in low, you've got some leftover money. I cannot tell you enough to budget for the highest it could possibly be. If you don't have enough money for that highest possible budget, don't do it yet. Save. Or, you know that you're not working with a designer. It's not a designer project. And that sounded so snotty, didn't it? But it's not. It's not trying to be snotty. It's just the truth. So that's your video of the day. Budgeting window treatments. I hope it was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Thank you.